Here we go. Hi, and we're here today with Kailyn. Kailyn, how are you
Hello.
today?
I am great. Thank you for asking.
Do you have any burning questions for me?
Oh, goodness. Burning questions. Well, I'd love for you to just feel in and
Okay.
see if there's something kind of under the surface that needs to be addressed.
Oh, something of interest. I got a visual of like you standing in your kitchen, like looking around, going, "Where's the chaos? Like where is it that I'm missing?" Like you're like, "Do I see it all?" And there's even a thought of you that's like, "Is there a mouse under the counter that I can't see? Because I really can't handle that." Right? Like there's the what do I not know? What do I not know? And then I saw you playing whack a mole. Where you're just like, I'm gonna go after that thing and that thing and then that thing, and then things just keep popping their heads up, and so you just feel exhausted because you're constantly feeling like you're putting out little fires everywhere.
Mm, mm,
Um, some of those, some of those are not necessarily things you have to take care of, though. Some of those things
mm,
you could legitimately put down and like let somebody else take care of, and it would be okay. But
mm,
some of those things, if you really don't pay attention to them, it will be a bigger problem down the road. So you are legitimate and like, yeah, I'm gonna go after that thing, right? Like, let's be honest, if you didn't do the laundry, it really would just pile up in your house, right? But I mean, there might be somebody who would come along eventually to take care of it, but that's not really their thing, if I'm reading that correctly. Whereas I feel like there are other things that you could easily hand to other people and they would be able to handle it well.
hmm,
And it doesn't have to be you all the time.
hmm, hmm,
Yeah.
hmm.
And in all honesty, if you even made a laundry schedule, it would probably work. They're just the people in your house are not focused or driven in a way. And if you were
Hmm.
like, Tuesday nights, can we just make a deal that Tuesday or Wednesday nights you do this thing? That person would be like, yeah, I think I can do that. But without
Hmm.
the schedule, they're just sort of like, they don't realize there's a big pile that needs to be taken care of.
Hmm. Hmm.
Right? Like, I think there are things that you could delegate out, and people would
Hmm.
be willing to help, and people would be willing to do it. Absolutely. They just don't know, and they don't see it the way you see it, and therefore you think they're not thinking the way you're thinking, and they're not, because they don't run inside your head. They don't. Their brain doesn't work the way the beautiful Kaylin brains work. But there is more help out there for you.
Hmm.
It doesn't fall on your shoulders.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You're welcome. I also want to say I think you can schedule an Instacart. And I mean a
Okay.
schedule. Like every Tuesday you get the basics just delivered, like a standard order that you just don't need to, maybe I think like a reoccurring order. Does Instacart do a reoccurring order?
I have no idea.
I have no idea. If they don't, I just gave them a really freaking good idea.
You did, and maybe it's something that you need to do? No, I shouldn't say that. I will not say that.
Have Instacart create a reoccurring orders, but like I really feel like a reoccurring order would be really great in your life. And Amazon, you
Mm,
can get reoccurring orders.
it's true.
So like, if you know every 3 weeks you're going to need diapers, which I don't know if you do, but you might still be in a place where you need diapers,
Still need diapers.
right? There, you might, and so you might just
My
be like,
husband just said today, "We're getting low on diapers." I said, "Sounds good."
you know what that means? Time for you, Mr. Husband, to go get some diapers. Because if you
He did.
notice it,
Put it on his list.
you put it on his list.
No, no, he put it on his list. I don't he did
Oh,
the list. Oh, yeah.
nice. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah. I think, it's interesting that the words that you're saying in the last 4 days, there's been a big handoff of things.
Oh,
So maybe that's what you're seeing or feeling into.
yeah. I feel
Mm-hmm.
like there's more handoff coming though.
I'll take it.
I think there's like more. This is good. This is not so good. This
And
makes
maybe
me
it's a
feel.
business versus professional too, because I think um, it's happening at the same time in both of my lives. That makes sense.
Yes,
Mm-hmm.
both the personal and the professional
Mm-hmm.
handoffs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's fun.
That is fun.
I feel like. Is there a new dog in your life?
There is.
Okay. All right. Well, there you go. I felt like there was a new dog in your life. I
Yeah.
also, but I might have known that, but it just popped in. Like it
I don't
popped
think
in.
you knew that.
Okay.
I don't think you knew that. Yeah.
There, yeah, I feel like you've been getting up a lot in the middle of the night with new dog.
Mm-hmm. Well, we've been sharing their responsibility, but last night it was my night.
Okay. Yeah.
My makeup isn't doing a good job today.
Your makeup's doing a great job. I would never know you're getting up in the middle of the night with new dog. Every 2 hours to go get little puppy
Yeah.
out.
Yeah. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Each little puppy that their bladder needs to get bigger.
We're almost there. We're so close.
Does he yip now to let you know he needs to go out?
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's good.
He's smart. He's very smart, and he's not having accidents in the night anymore, so we're not having to clean in the night anymore. It's good. Yeah.
Did you put the bells on the back door?
We did not. We actually keep him in a small little contained, well, it's not a small, it's a big kennel, but we keep him in the kennel. So he has to alert us with his little yips.
Little
So,
yips. Okay.
mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Um, all right. I don't feel like there's an answer on this, but I feel like there's been conversation about family size.
Mm. Say more.
Same. Whether I believe there are two in your life. Am I
There are
correct?
2 children. Yes.
I know you've told me in the past, choose it for you. But I feel like there might be conversation about whether you're a child family.
Oh, Jesus. Don't say those things to me, Kim. Those are fighting words.
Well, sometimes you're supposed to. All right, I'm saying it. Sometimes
I'm just going to say the shit.
you're gonna say it, right? So I'm just checking. Like, is this really true? Should I say this? Should I not say this? Like, where's the boundary? You just check it. You check it, right?
I have no boundaries with you, Kim Beam. You can say all the words.
No, I'm checking spirit. I'm like, just check it in.
My team's like, he's an open book. Go.
Yes, but at the same point, I need to be like, am I right? Am I speaking out of my ass? I feel like there might be. Now, I'm not saying it's necessarily going to be your birth child, and I'm not saying it's necessarily a foster child or like an adoptee child that comes in. It could be one of all three of those. But I feel like there's going to be a person in your life that's going to come into your life that's going to be a childlike figure, a child figure that you help raise. That's going to choose you, that was a part of the plan. So whether that means that person comes out of your body or that person comes out of somebody else's body, I feel like there's going to be conversation about whether or not this person is going to be a sibling to your children. And it might be one day you wake up and you're like, oh, it's been 3 months since that thing has happened, right? And it might be, and then you call me up and you're like, I hate you.
Literally, I send you a text. I'm like, you are the worst human being ever. How dare you call this into existence for me? I curse you.
No, I'm not calling it into existence. No. I'm telling you, I'm seeing a contract.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. I'm seeing a contract. I'm seeing 3 of them.
So it's very interesting that you say that because my husband and I have had the conversation like we're very much done. Like I don't really want to have any more children,
Mhm.
but we've all like it's like there's like someone that's been like calling me lately when I'm in my meditations and I'm like, what do you want from me? Like, who are you? Why are you talking to me? I don't know who you are. And I thought
Ghosts
maybe you're one of my
everywhere.
spirit guides. Like I'm calling in another guide to help me out. Um, and maybe it's another child. Who knows?
And the beautiful thing about timing is that, yeah, I have no idea what timing is, right? I always ask people, please don't ask me about timing because really, honestly, right. So, I mean, we could be having this conversation 4 years from now where you're like, I was
Yeah.
really done. And now I have somebody I have a 6-year-old and I have a just
Another six. Yeah.
and another.
Yeah, no. Well, the good news is if the child um is my husband and mine and not me and another person's, it won't be natural born because my husband has had the snip. So we can't
You can't. You
he's
can't.
fixed. He's been fixed.
Have you seen that video of that guy who had been fixed and he realized his wife was pregnant?
Yes, but luckily we've done the testing.
Oh, you've done the testing. Okay.
We did
That
the
guy didn't do
testing
the
to
testing.
ensure that the snip was successful and the snip was successful.
Okay.
So,
All right. All right. So maybe you know what? I recently had somebody tell me that a child is coming into my life too.
you
And it
know,
might just be in the atmosphere for people, right? It might just be in the energy.
and there's a thing that I know, and I know you know this as well, is like you can only control so much. When something's supposed to happen, it's going to happen. Because my husband and I said after our first son that we were only going to have one kid
You were done.
and took every precaution and bum ba bum.
You
I
have
got
two.
pregnant with the second one, even though I was not supposed to get pregnant. There was no way for me to get pregnant. So turns out there was a way for me to get pregnant. And so we took even greater precautions now after the second because we're like, okay, now we're really done. So it would be just my luck. But it again, who am I?
Right. And like I said, it might be that like you're in the grocery store and some woman goes, "Here you go," right? And you're like, "I'm here for dinner, not this
I
infant."
should have ordered that Instacart, damn it, so I didn't have to go to the grocery store today.
As if that's how babies get happened. Here you go.
So that's how I avoid having a third kid. Don't go to the
Go to the
grocery
grocery
store.
store. Exactly. Exactly. Never go to the grocery
Gosh, sex ed had it all wrong. Dang it.
Can I tell you? I was at a high school reunion and I bumped into like the biggest womanizer. No, he wasn't really the biggest one. He was like a flirt. He was sort of like really into girls. Didn't really like he couldn't pin him down on anything. He was like
Yeah.
he was also a model in like the J.C. Penney catalog inside the newspaper,
Okay.
right? Like, yeah, that's where his head was. He wound up with 4 girls. And I was like, how did you get 4 girls? And I'm like, were you paying
Poetic
attention to
justice.
Mrs. Van Fleet's health class? He's like, I wasn't.
Poetic justice.
You
That
have
is
4 girls.
beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the universe definitely comes around for you.
We get served exactly what we need. So, and right when we need it too. So I'll
Yeah.
be real careful about what I allow inside my body. That's for sure. Thank you for the warning.
Yes, absolutely. I mean, in all honesty, there's like an acceptance and there's a balance, right? There's a balance
Yeah.
of what comes in and what goes out. And the more you give
Yep.
energy to, the more shows up. So if you're like, I'm ignoring that and I'm letting that go, and you just release it and let it go back out there, there's nothing there to like really hook onto, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Um Also, I just get the sense that for your parents, for your parents, like I feel like as your plate is getting a little emptier, as you're thinking about who you're gonna hand things off to, I think it's gonna open up some spaciousness to create some really good time to be able to support and help your parents. But I think it also might involve a little bit of like you starting to go to their doctor appointments with them. I don't know how old your parents are, but I sort of just get the like maybe start rooting around and asking some health questions. Not that there's anything really to pay attention to, like nothing concerning now, but I feel like it's now that matters for down the road.
Okay.
If that makes sense.
Yeah.
Because sometimes moms and dads don't want to. They want us to do all the things, like go to the doctor, make sure you get your health checked, make sure you're paying attention to these things. But then when it's like, hey, can you go to the doctor for that thing? They're like, why? I don't see the point.
I'm fine. I'm healthy. What do you mean?
Yeah, everything's fine. I'm like, you got fainty the other day. Yes, so what? Everybody gets a little fainty. Right? So just to keep your daughter ears open.
I love that. Thank you.
Yeah. And I just get a really good sense that you and your husband have really good communication. That you guys are doing a pretty good job with, like, even with the chaos of the family and the dog and the kids. I feel like the two of you aren't just like, you know how some people are like in it to get everybody raised? I feel like you are in it not just to get everybody raised, but to support each other well. And I get that good sense of like holding each other up and listening to each other and hearing what each other needs. I hear that. I hear that. And I see it as his desire to support you. I mean, you're always supporting. Like that's just who you are. Like you're definitely the nurturer and the carer. And he's not a geek, but he's not a bro either. Like he's like, he's like neither of those things. But he's also like, and I don't mean this meanly. So if you're listening, Kailyn's husband, right? I don't mean this
meanly. Not here. He's picking our son up from school. So
yes. He's like just naively sweet. He just doesn't know. Right? So like when you're standing in the kitchen and you're seeing all the moles that need to be whacked, he just doesn't see them. It's not that he doesn't care and it's not that he doesn't want to be supportive. He just doesn't see it the way you see it. And so when you're like, he doesn't care because of all this mess, it's like, no, he's just not tuned in the way you are. It's not a lack of wanting to support. It's just the daily tasks just don't register until he's like, oh, I need to put the dirty dishes into the dishwasher and the dishwasher's full. So now I'm going to, whereas you're like, before we even like think about making dinner, can we get the dishwasher emptied? Because that's like going to be needed later on down the road. And it's not that he doesn't want to. It's just like at this moment, it doesn't need to happen. But oh, dirty dishes need to go in the dishwasher. So I'll do it now right before I do the dishes. And you're like, can we think about this ahead of time? And you're like, and he's like, why? Right? Like it's just not he just thinks about it differently. It's not a malicious or intentional or a like, and I think there's a moment coming if he hasn't already had it, which he may have had because of the conversation in the 4 days you handing things off to people. But like he's realizing you're thinking about things differently than he does. And in some ways that really confuses him. Because his brain just doesn't work that way. But there are things that he does that really confuse you, right? In other areas where you are not as gifted. And he can see why it totally works, and you're just like, I don't get it. And so there are some things that he feels like he's holding the bag, and you don't even realize he feels that way. He knows that you feel like you're holding the bag. He doesn't know that you know that he's holding the bag in other areas. Because he's doing such a good job of holding the bag that you don't even realize that he's doing it. If that makes sense. Okay. Anything else for me?
Is there any messages that I'm missing or I'm not interpreting properly?
The new puppy is a message.
Oh.
Okay, so what does that mean? There are new things coming in that require a lot of attention at first that won't require so much as they get older. And right now, there are things in your life that you feel are requiring too much attention, and you're feeling like, I'm exhausted by that thing, and I don't even know if it's worth it anymore. And I'm not even sure what that is. But it I just get a sense of packaged overwhelm. You've taken the overwhelm and you've been like, I feel this overwhelm about this thing, and you put it in a package and you're like, I'm just going to stick the overwhelm over here.
Mm-hmm.
And you're like, I can't handle the overwhelm of that, so I'm going to like skirt it as best I can while pulling branches out of the overwhelm that I can handle, and then leaving the
Mm-hmm.
big giant overwhelm just in a box.
Mm-hmm.
A puppy doesn't allow you the opportunity to box the overwhelm.
Mm-hmm.
The puppy is overwhelming all the time, even in nighttime when you're trying really hard to get puppy just to be in a crate. Just be in a crate, little boy, right? Little girl, little boy.
Boy.
Boy. Like, just be in a crate, right? And he's like, okay, I'll be in a crate, but then I'm going to yip and need attention, right? But you can handle that because you're working it out, right? I feel like the box of overwhelm.
Is it a person or is it a thing?
I think it's a thing.
Okay. Okay.
I think it may be your role in the app. That's what I'm getting, but that might be just my brain hooked onto that. It may not actually be what it is.
Okay.
I don't think the thing that you think is as overwhelming as it actually is. I think there are components of it that are overwhelming, and you've just said baby bathwater, all of it goes in a box.
Okay.
Instead of like, what's the thing that's really causing me overwhelm, which is really, one small part of it. Like, the way that I got the visual of it is a I can't think of the words. Imitation Christmas tree.
An artificial tree?
Yes. Thank you.
Yes.
Man, I really thought I was able to say it with imitation.
It's okay. Right there.
So you know how an artificial Christmas tree, like you fold it all back up again and you put it in the box and it's all in there? I feel like the thing that overwhelms you is actually only one branch on the entire tree. But you've taken the whole tree and said, this thing overwhelms me. I don't know how to handle it. I'm just going to stick it in the box. And in reality, it's only one component. It could be the finances. It could be the taxes. It could be some small piece of it that is overwhelming to you. And you've taken the whole artificial tree and just shoved it in a box.
Okay. I'm going to have to chew on that shit.
Absolutely. I could be wrong. I mean, yeah. Or it could be where the energy is right now, and the energy will shift and be like, oh no, she's not overwhelmed by that thing anymore.
Yeah. 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 No, it's an interesting concept, and I think I need to just sit with it because it's not something that I've allowed myself to sit with either. I know that I do that when I get overwhelmed. I'm like, all right, I'm going to just contain you on this list for now, and then I'm going to come back to you because I have all these other things. And so I'm trying to think what I've done that with. I don't think it's the app right now because I'm actually like took the boat and I'm steering the boat right now, and it feels really good to me.
Okay.
And so I don't feel overwhelmed by that. I actually feel like I've done a lot of delegating. It feels really good. So I'm like, okay, what other areas of my life have I put things in that box or on that list that I'm like, I'll come back to you.
So an idea while you were talking that popped in my head that may or may not be accurate is like friendships in the new town and or the move and moving and still getting settled.
Okay. Okay.
Because I think there's a part of you that's like, I have my husband, I have my friends who I connect with the way I connect with them. Do I need to like really connect into this space here?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Do I have to have community here?
Mm-hmm.
I think there's a
Yeah.
part of you that's like asking that question. And if you
Mm.
do need community, I think you're thinking, well, I have those people and those people and those people, and I'm good. And those people will bring people in if I need them.
Mm.
Opposed to like, do I actively get myself involved in something to
Yeah.
create community?
Yeah. Yeah. Mm.
Which is exhausting sometimes just even thinking about.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I just had a client conversation literally yesterday about it. The couple. Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So yes.
Yes. Okay.
Thank you. I feel like you gave me a whole bunch of different things to sit with. So thank you, Kim.
You're so
Appreciate it.
welcome. Absolutely. All right. We'll talk to you soon. And I'm just going to hit the little finish